Good evening. We have a beautiful lecture for you. It's entitled, You Are Gods. You're going to find this in Psalm 82:6. Ye are gods. I want you to focus on that. We're not going to just read this and say, ye are gods. Ye are gods. This needs to resonate in your mind. Ye are gods. You need to take it very seriously. I use a big G up here because of the importance of it. Ye are gods. Never lose sight on this. This is very, very important. And it's going to be very, very important from this day on. For many times to come, this is going to be very important. And you always remember this. No matter what someone may say to you, or a certain thought you may think about yourself after something is said, or a certain thought come up in your head, never lose sight on this one. Ye are gods, okay? And you need to understand a lot by what they call the certain inner person and all that. Ethereal person and all that. You need to understand some of that stuff. But ye are truly gods. And that's one thing, neither resonate in your head, that you're not a regular person. Although you come into this dust man's and woman's body, ye are gods. And never lose sight on that. What do the scriptures say in Psalm 82:6? I have said. Now this is the initiate talking here. This is not God. This is initiate, because this is a book of the Spirit of truth, of the word of truth in it. And it needs a man or woman of God to interpret it properly. And we must understand that. Ye are gods, okay? I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Now, what they say, they use this term, children of the Most High. And we could look at that Most High in different ways. But we must understand that we're children of the Most High. The Most High could be in the literal sense. That Most High is the King that is to, as we say, that is to come. That Horus figure. Or we could see of the King of the Most High. That's Thought, Most High Priest, or we can see of the Most High as Allah, or as the angelic name Allah, which is God the Almighty. That means the Almighty. There is nothing higher than the Almighty. And we must see that. Now, why is this so important? Gods, ethereal beings. What we must understand that our existence did not start when we came through our mother's womb. Our existence did not start that. That's the part that we adopted into the dust man. When God said, let us make man in his image and his likeness, and he said male and female. That's the ethereal. That's the God person in us. That's us inside. Gods. In our image, in our likeness. God is a God. In his image, in his likeness. That don't mean just a physical appearance. That means image and likeness. You know, they talk about the image award and all that. But image and likeness. And we must understand that we are in the image and likeness of God. And we must see that. Now, what else we have to understand in this? Because this is important. Ye are gods. And you're dealing with transmutation, the action of changing, or the state of being changed into another form. Now, when we say in the beginning, God made man and woman in his image and his likeness. And we came to earth and took on a human form in his image and his likeness. Did it take you from being a God? No. You're a God, my people. You're a God, my peoples. And this is what you need to see. Now, most people's, the reason I'm bringing it up, because we got peoples in different walks of life. We got them doctors, lawyers, judges, politicians, people that work in the medical field, people that work in the road, people that work on houses, people that work in plumbing, people that work all kinds of jobs, all kinds of jobs. Do it eliminate either one of them from being a God? We have people that take different views of life. Some people talk about, and I didn't know how I'm going to bring this in, but I'm going to just dab it in and dab it out. We have people that's humans, children, grands, cousins. They practice different things. And one thing that we got going down that is a big controversy in the church, because the ministers don't want to talk about it, is the homosexual person. Now let's listen closely. Is John or Joanne down the road? Is he a God? I want you to listen to what I got to say now. Is he a God? Is Mary, and someone called boy Mary, is she a God? See, God did not take our attitudes, our belief in our attitudes, and put it in this writing when he was saying that. He said, and he initially said, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you, listen to this now, all of you are children of the Most High. Now that's something that we got to think about. See, some of these lectures are going to have to be different, and I'm going to have to hit some tough subjects. I'm going to have to hit some subjects that they don't like to talk about in the pulpit. I'm going to have to hit some subjects that people just don't want to believe but what they want to believe. You get them in the Baptists, you get them in the Pentecostals, and you know how people are in the church, they talk about everybody. They like to talk about everybody, and we need to know this. Now, the reason I'm bringing that out, because I want you to see beyond your personal identities. I want to see you, see yourself. When you came out of your mother's wombs, you were what you are, God's. You hadn't got attached to this world, and you were gradually getting attached to the one that you came from. You're God's. And all of you, children of the Most High. Now, we're going to deal with mind, soul, and body. Now, how are we going to see this? Okay. Power, the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Now, in this world that we are in, and we just come out of this dark age, we have been in a time where Satan and the devil have ruled. And in this time, you're going to be everything, and something could happen that you be told everything and seen as everything other than what you are. Because you just came out of that age of Pisces, an age of deception. So if in our time growing up as adults and growing up as individuals, and we be called different things and we feel like we are different things, that's their idea of you. That's not you yourself. And if it's good, it could be a good idea. If it's bad, it could be a bad idea. But what we need to see in this lecture, ye are gods. Never lose sight on that. Never lose sight on that. Ye are gods. You are children of the Most High. Now, I'm bringing that to you because I don't know what your day could have been like. It could have been a good day at work, or it could have been a bad day at work. It could have been a good day here, there, or it could have been a bad day. We got to understand that no matter what the day is, we came down here to deal with whatever challenges in life that brought before us. But in the midst of it all, we must understand that ye are gods. We are gods. And the reason why a lot of frustration and a lot of angers and all the other things come in our life, because we lose the idea of who we are. We are gods. And I want you to understand what I'm saying here, because as I move in this lecture, I want that to resonate in your mind. Now, let's go on down here. Genesis 32:28. For as a prince have thy power with God and with man, and has prevailed. Now this is God talking, or the niche is saying God, a thought is talking to Jacob. Because I want you to see Jacob, because Jacob is a God, ye is a God, and you must understand that just like Jacob have the power of God with him, you have the power of God with you. Jacob is no more than you are. Ye are gods. And you must see that. Now, why is I'm saying this? Why is this so important? Because you got to get in the move of who you are. There's nobody in the Bible that resonates or greater than you at any time, because you are a God, and there is no God that's going to be greater than the other God unless God appoint them for a particular task. And you need to understand this. Ye are gods. Now, you're going to feel where I'm getting to as I go on, because certain things have been put in your life in this dark age, and it have kept you from feeling like who you are. And people in the pulpit do not like to teach you of who you are. You're gods. Okay? Now, in this, let's go down to the story of Jacob, and I say, Jacob said, and Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. So Jacob wanted to know, who is this angel? Who is this person? Who is this powerful person that here talking to me, that I'm wrestling with? Who is this person? And he gonna say to him, and he said, wherefore is it thought? And people are gonna read that and say, wherefore is it that? That's not a name. This book come from the Soterian. The Soterian come out of ancient Egypt, and who is the God of the gods of ancient Egypt? Thought. And we must understand this and see this. Thus has asked after my name, and he blessed him there. Now, who have given the blessings in the Bible, gave Abraham blessings, etc.? Melchizedek, which is thought. And we need to understand this. And as we understand this, we'll know that as gods, we must receive blessings. And if we're not receiving blessings, it's something about the way that we have been trained in our life of who we are. Because gods attract blessings. And if you haven't learned in your mind, you haven't been resurrected to who you are, then you're missing out on blessings from God that's supposed to be in your life. And we got to see this. And I want y'all to see this. So we're going to deal with this God thing. Because it's time out for us selling with anything less than what we're supposed to have. Now, as I get in the meat of this, I want to bring out these individuals because they too are gods. But they're helping us embrace this, that we could talk to our audience, to give our audience that truthfulness that God wants to have. Christian Journal, Devin Griffin, Antoinette McMillan, Marcia Gordon, Roger Olden, Brianne, if I got this wrong, I got to work with this one. I think it's Mulligan, okay. Marvin Creek, okay. Tracy Beard, Stephanie Wilson, We got Miss Sinclair, Clara A. Woods, and Teddy Whites. Okay, I'm gonna say these names a lot more times when I do this again. But what I want to do is give these people's honor to what they have done. I put more names on. I have just so many, but I put more names on here so y'all can realize that I want to get them more and more on the board to know that we appreciate what you're doing for us, and that's what's good. Now I'm going into this lecture because I want to get into this. This is important to me, to you, because sometimes people just don't have a good day, and they don't realize why they ain't having a good day because you ain't thinking right. Your day only could be bad if you ain't thinking that way. Now, some things happen in your life, and they could bring drama into your life, but you're going to have to know how to switch things off to remember who you are. Never lose sight on that. Over 400 years, proving your humanity. Now, this is talking about the ADOS. So 400 years proving your humanity. I'm going to read something, and this is what you need to see, because this stuff is something else sometimes. Winston Churchill, he was born in 1874. Now, I want you to notice this time he was born. 1874, this is right after the Civil War, not many years after the Civil War. Civil War ended in 1865, and he was born in 1874, approximately 9 years. And he died in 1965. I want you to look at the years in 1965. Okay. I do not apologize for the takeover of the region by the Jews from the Palestinians. I want you to hear this now. I don't apologize for the takeover of America by the whites from the Indians, or the takeover of the Australians from the blacks. It is natural for a superior race. I want you to hear this now. It is natural for a superior race to dominate an inferior. Now, this is these people that come and they're your leaders in Christianity and all that. But they're not seeing that who you are. You are God. They're not even seeing who they are. They just feel like one group of people supposed to be superior over another group of people, and they teach that ignorance. And then what you got a society, or you got let's do it like this simple. You got an academic environment of scientists and scholars trying to push this nonsense. When the Bible is telling you, ye are gods. And you got to wrestle with this in life. Because they come in every different area at you. And you don't realize that this stuff that they have propagated, that they have said in our society, affect your life from understanding your true selves. Man's greatest admonition is man and woman. Know thyself. Ye are gods. And these devils trying to show you that you are less than a human. And the reason I tell you about the dates, because in 1874, in that era, eugenics and all this other stuff were coming on the scene, and they wanted to make the black man through the slavery and all this other stuff, and the black woman and the black family, they wanted to show them as inferior, 3/5 of a man and all that. And when Martin Luther King came on the scene, look at the timing now, they was proving that they was a man and a woman and human beings just like everybody else. And World War I and World War II had the black man and the black woman trapped in this environment where they got to prove their worth and prove this and prove that. But I tell you no longer, ye are gods. You ain't got to prove jack to nobody. You are gods. And it's time for you to walk in who you are. Don't matter what you got, materialistic and all that. You're gods. And the better and the more you understand that, it's better for the future generations to know. These are individuals who come teaching this dark age philosophy, ruling and running your countries and your world. And there are scholars along with them and all the other people with them, and all of them, is using the knowledge and the energy of Satan in the dark age knowledge of right and wrong in order to keep you from being who God have created you to be. You're God's. Never lose sight on that. Now let's move on. I had to read that because, see, during the time when they had this fair in New York in 1906 and had this little boy in there and tried to make it seem like this, and they was scientists using these skulls to try to show that black man came through this evolutionary stage of Isaac Newton, and even he didn't believe it in a lot of days, and all this nonsense, people, and that nonsense is still in your society today, and people think that they are better than other peoples, and all of them are the same. All of them are the same. The only difference is if you got shape changes in your midst, but all the humans are the same. And you got to see this, my people. White leadership does not want an ADOS in the White House running the White House. Now, why do I'm talking about that? Because I'm showing you that this political climate was all over America, all over England, where the book came from, and trying to put that propaganda in our children and our race and our country head, and this ignorance have divided America, that America is about to fall. And why? Because God is in judgment with America. And America got to understand that American peoples are the only thing that can save America, and they got to quit seeing themselves as somebody they're not. They're God's. Genesis 12:1-3. Now the Lord hath said unto Abram, get thee out of thy, it ain't country, it's county, because the whole book is about America. Get thee out of thy county, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land, thought, I will show thee, thought, I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Come on, ADOSs. The reason why these kind of powerful people from different nations like Europe, etc., and America won't let you be one that's controlling the White House, because they want to see you inferior and see themselves superior in the race. And you need to know this now. You need to understand this. Now, why is this so important? Because this climate is in our society now. We're breathing that energy that has been dispersed into our society. We're breathing it now. You got banks and loans. Companies want to redline and do everything else to keep you from being where you need to be. Certain banks won't give you the loans to build the businesses that you need to build. Certain people don't want to let you into that mix where you could be able to run certain corporations and etc. The government is keeping certain knowledge within certain groups because they don't want you to get ahead or know about certain knowledge because they're trying to keep it for themselves and their buddies. See, when you got all this stuff working against you, when you didn't give a group of people's reading material and teach them how to read properly for 200 and plus years, you're doing all this to a people, and then you got to still smash them and smash them down because you want them to feel inferior and you feel superior. God ain't with that. That's Satan. That was the devil ruling the dark age, and God permit Satan to be rulers in the dark age, and that dark age stuff got to go, and it cannot come into America like it is, so God have to cast the demons out of America. The demonic ideology of these individuals
who've been persuading us to think this way, the Darwin way, the devil way, and not the way of God. Ye are gods. See, sometimes we get caught up in what man say and forget what God is saying because we don't know how to really distinguish the two. Because we know that this is story, this is mythology, and this is life. We got to be able to take the two and put them together to see God. And the only way you could do it, you got to go into yourself and see God. And we could get this thing right. Now, we see that God want to bless America, and He's going to use these ADOSs to receive this. But what we got to see is when. When is all this going to happen? What did the Bible say? Okay, Genesis 15:13 to 14. And they shall afflict them for 400 years. And also that nation which they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Now, we see that this period of time happened in America from August 16, 19, and we'll use our 365.25 days in August 2019. Or 2019, let's say it like that, 2019. Now, why is this important? Because he said he's going to bring them out with great substance. And thy name should be great. And thou shalt be blessed. So that means that right now is a time we need to understand who we are. Ye are gods. And we must see this. Now, we're going over here and bring this to a close. Now, this is your time of deliverance as a people. This is your time for deliverance as a people. So we're going to keep this in mind. We're trying to make this lecture short and sweet. But we want you to get this message because it's important. Exodus 12:40 to 41. Now, the sojourn of the children of Israel, which is Israel is the word for Lewis, and we'll get into that read other lecture and you see that. Now the sojourn of the children of Israel who dwell in Egypt was 430 years, and it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self-same day, it came to pass that all the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. So what is they telling us? They're telling us that this thing is telling them about events that are going to happen right at the end of the dark age, into the age of light, into the age of blessings. And in that, they're going to be 400 years, and then they're going to be 430 years. You need to see this now, because we're talking about when. This book was sent to America, so this is about the Protestants' reality that was going to occur and that is going to occur in America. And we must understand this, what this Bible really all about. And we got to see that now. Now, how do we see this? We are in that time. We are at the end of 2019. It doesn't happen. We're going into that 30 years. If you look at 360 days a year from August 1st, 1619 to October 30th, 2013, that's 400 years. Look from that angle, and you add 30 to it, that's 2043. You look at 365.25 days a year. If you look from August the 1st, 1619, that's when the assembly got together and established America. To August 2019, and 30 years of that, that's 2049. But what it's showing you is that God is going to deliver you, and you need to know that you're operating in that time right now. And Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael is a code name, L-E, flip that upside down, Hebrew typology, L-E-W-I, and you take that and get your S. That means Lewis shall stand up, the great prince which stand for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered,
every one that shall be found written in the book. This is books unto America. Thy peoples, the ones that in America is going to be delivered from this chaotic condition that have been stored upon them. And we must see this. We must understand this. This is very important. People, you got to know who you are right now, because trouble is coming. A great time is going to come. That's why God sent his messenger. It's going to be a time of trouble was never been before. People look at this coronavirus and all this nonsense and what society is pushing on you. Go back and read of them same type of peoples there with Churchill and some of them princes and all that. They won't do the thing by getting rid of the amount of peoples on the planet. They want to get rid of many of the Africans on the planet and stuff like that. And many of other people, the elderlies and all that. We got to understand that this time that we're in right now, we have to observe it as that time of trouble that God is talking about in Daniel. And we need to understand the true Jesus that's up in heaven. The true God that's the God of all, Almighty. And understand more about Melchizedek. These things are necessary. And when I say Jesus, I'm not using that term that they of old use. Jesus is another term for using Horus. Jesus is a code name for Lewis. So we got to understand that that Jesus that they have given us is about the messenger, and the Jesus that they really trying to talk about, who they done distorted it, etc., is in heaven, and you can't kill him. So when they tell you they killed Jesus, even if Jesus did come down at that time, you couldn't kill him. So there's no Roman government killed no Jesus. Because you can't kill a God man. Come on, people. You can't kill a God man that have gotten to that level. So if they told you they killed Jesus, they hung him on the cross and all that nonsense, whatever. You know, let's look at it in reality. You cannot kill a God man. Okay? And we have to see that. We are growing into who we are. But that was a special type of God, man. And we have to see that. Now, that was a quick, sweet video that I wanted you to just focus on yourselves and know who you are, because it's very important right now. We finna deal with a time of trouble, and we don't want to throw fear into this environment, but God's people's going to be delivered. The scriptures say God's people's going to be delivered. So just cause the time of trouble going to come don't mean you got to feel the trouble. That's what it showed when Noah had the people to go into the ark. The people's outside the ark were feeling it, not the people's inside. The people's inside the ark will know that turmoil is happening on the outside, but that don't mean they're going to feel it. Just like this, turmoil could be happening in our country, but don't mean you got to feel it. Don't mean it got to affect your life. God will deliver you from the conditions because he said he will. And it said that at that time, thy people shall be delivered. That means deliverance is coming now, and it's for our people. Now, we got to see that. We should make our donations, okay, so we can help move this organization about. We still have that advertisement, 70K, and I say, please send that so we can get this advertisement done, etc. Now, we send our donation to Louis J. Armstrong Ministry, or Louis Armstrong Ministry, 7536 Jane Lane North, Jacksonville, Florida, 32210. That's 7536 Jana Lane North, Jacksonville, Florida, 32210. And also Cross Rock Incorporated, the organization that spearheaded all this and brought Louis Armstrong Ministry about and bringing the other ministers forth. Cross Rock Incorporated. You could go to Give LaFi, you could go to the same address with Cross Rock, or you could go to Give LaFi on your mobile app on the charitable and make your donation to Cross Rock Incorporation. Cross Rock Incorporated. Give LaFi on your mobile app on the charitable. And you can also go to PayPal. Go to PayPal at ArmstrongLewisJ@gmail.com. That's PayPal at ArmstrongLewisJ@gmail.com. And I like to say a little prayer. This was one of those lectures that I really didn't know what thought was taking me at. It kept coming to me get into their mind who they are. They are gods. And that's where I was coming from with this. For you to focus on who you really are. And I know sometimes it's hard to see yourself as a God because you've never been brought up that way, or never been taught that way. But now is a time we have to see that. It reminds me of when Napoleon went and conquered Egypt, and he said, those people walk around like gods. We got to get that back, people. We got to know that we are somebody. We got to look from being that they want to force on us as inferior, and understand that we are truly superior in our own right as gods. And we must see that. We are gods, and all of us are children of the Most High. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come together and to view and understand what you are saying. Heavenly Father, bless our life that we can feel more comfortable in ourselves and what you are doing. Father, bring those great substances into our life, that we could be able to see you in your action. Safeguard our family, that no matter what disease, virus, or whatever may come, our bodies and our lives will be able to overcome it with your protection. And I say this in our Lord and our Savior,